See, that's where we have difference of opinion here, because I think you do know what happened, okay? You're sitting there saying you don't know what happened, and I think you're sitting there doing that because you are scared, but I think that you do know, okay? I've been doing this for a long time, and I don't think you're being 100% honest with me. I think you do know what happened. You were there. You and her. You were the only two there. You know what happened. They're saying it happened right then and there. You have to know. You were there.
Yeah, but I don't know.
How would you not know?
I don't know. Nothing happened.
I mean, the medical people are saying this is when it happened. This is what happened. Someone caused this injury to this child, and it would have been whoever was there within a few minutes from the time that she stopped breathing normally. Who was there when she stopped breathing normally? You.
She was still breathing normal, and then Pee-wee came, and it's like...
Hello, you guys, and welcome back to Can't Stop, Won't Stop Warriors on YouTube. If you haven't already done so, please click my logo below and subscribe to Can't Stop, Won't Stop Warriors. It's free, and your subscription will help get Jennifer's story to more people. People who are going through a similar situation. Maybe someone is listening and they're in an abusive relationship. Or maybe someone is witnessing abuse and doesn't know what to do and what their options are. Please like and subscribe. Okay, so in this episode, you will hear clips from Jennifer MEDZIE's interview, or what I believe to be interrogation, at the Clearfield State Police Station on November 17, 2013. At this time, Cody was still at Children's Hospital, and Sophia was pronounced brain dead this same morning at 8:54 a.m. As you listen, keep in mind that Pennsylvania State Police had already been notified of Sophia's death, but Jennifer had no idea. This particular recording of Jennifer MEDZIE, I'm so sorry you guys, is audio only. I will be popping in and out, explaining some things as we go along. The original interview is 3 hours in length, and today you will hear about an hour and 15 minutes of those 3 hours. November 17, 2013, at 12:30 in the afternoon.
Okay, my name is Corporal Mary Jane McGinnis of the Pennsylvania State Police, Clearfield. I'm in the Clearfield interview room in the presence of Trooper Justin Jones and Jennifer MEDZIE. We're here discussing an incident. Jennifer, can you just acknowledge that we told you that we're going to record this conversation? Is this okay with you?
Yes.
Okay. Can you also provide us with your birth date?
7/8/95, or do I have to say July 8th?
No, that's fine. Okay. And you're 18 years of age, correct?
Yes.
All right. And also, we also had signed the paperwork here just a few minutes ago, a rights waiver warning that we read to you about your rights, and you signed that. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you understand all the things that we told you?
Yeah.
All right. So are you ready? We can ask you some questions, and now we're going to ask you a few questions, all right?
Go ahead.
Okay. All right.
Right here, you guys. This is when you get up and you walk out of the police station. It's our constitutional right to have an attorney present. This is so, so, so important. And I cannot and I will not stress it enough. There is no way that I would ever talk to a police officer, especially in the state of Pennsylvania, without an attorney present. And you all will quickly understand why as you listen to this episode and the upcoming episodes. The games they play are absolutely disgusting. I really don't know how these troopers sleep at night. The first half hour of the interview was the troopers going through the weeks of Jennifer and Cody dating and then the days leading up to Sophia's death that we have heard before in previous episodes. You know, how allegedly abusive Cody was to both Jennifer and Sophia, and how not normal Sophia appeared to be leading up to her collapse. Then Jennifer was asked about her relationship with Sophia.
Can you tell me a little bit about Sophie and your relationship?
It was good. Like, I treated her like she was mine. I loved her like she was mine, and even though she wasn't, but...
What can you tell me about her? What did she do? What
She would always...
cartoons did she watch? What did she like to do?
She would watch Dora. Whatever I had on TV, she would watch no matter what. She would play with her blocks, and I'd go down there and I'd play with her sometimes, or she'd read her books. Well, she'd look at the pictures, and then I'd say, that's a giraffe, and she'd go, giraffe, or she'd try and say it. And I'm like, hippo, and she's like, hippo.
Okay.
Well, how was her personality? Was she pretty pleasant, or did she cry a lot? What type of personality did she have? Was she pretty happy baby, or was she fussy and temper tantrums? And
She was pretty happy for me, unless she's sick, then it's like not herself.
okay. When you say not herself, I mean
It was like crying and fussy and all that.
when she didn't feel good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would it be fair to say that, I mean, you spent a lot of time with Sophie, right? I mean, you were there from September-ish up until now, and you were pretty much the primary caretaker of her, right?
Yeah.
So you spent a lot of time with her. So you knew her pretty well, right? What else can you tell me about Sophie that, I mean, is there anything that did anything change while you were there? Was she the same the whole way through? What can you tell me? You knew
She
her.
was the same unless she
pretty well.
got sick, and then she was just different.
Was she sick often?
Not really. She got sick maybe 3 times.
Okay, so normal Sophie acted how?
Happy and always playing, and she'd play with the dog unless she tried to choke him.
Okay, and how would you know Sophie was getting sick? Besides the normal symptoms of, her throwing up, how could you tell she was different?
She just wouldn't eat.
Okay.
And normally you could make her 3 meals and she'd eat all them.
What did she eat? Did you always make her the same things?
Not really. I'd make her pizza rolls, Hot Pocket. I would take her over to the cabinet and be like, what do you want? And I'd pick her up so she could see everything. And she'd point it out. And I'm like, okay, I'll make it for you.
So how would you discipline Sophie when you were watching Sophia? What did you, if she was bad or did something you didn't like, how would you discipline her?
I'd smack her butt and I'd put her on timeout.
Smack her bum and put her in timeout?
It was just on a chair right in the living room so I could see her still.
Okay. And what types of things would she do that would upset you?
Well, she tried smacking the dog with a roller, because she had a roller and she'd wave it around.
All right. Anything else? What else would upset you?
That was mainly it.
Now you said you
or
got.
if she peed in her pull-up, I'd be like, you don't pee in your pull-up.
That's what I was just going to ask you, because you said you guys were trying to potty train her, right? And so would you get upset if she peed in her pull-up?
I wouldn't get mad. I'd just be like, don't pee in your pull-up. I'm like, I told you not to pee in your pull-up. I said, go in your potty.
All right. So you're trying, because potty training kids can be frustrating.
She's been doing good on it.
Has she been doing good? All right. So that can be frustrating.
At any point, did you ever consider any discipline that you did to Sophie excessive?
No.
Maybe thought, I smacked her a little hard. I probably shouldn't have hit her in the butt that hard.
No, I know Cody smacked her a little hard. He left a handprint.
On her butt?
It was half like this.
Okay.
It was on her thigh.
Yeah.
Ish. And I'm like, you left a handprint. And he's like, well, she needs to listen. And it's like, you need to smack her that hard.
Then Corporal Mary Jane McGinnis brings the conversation back to Friday morning. Jen recalls every detail of that morning once again, and her story stays the exact same as every other time. Sophia woke up, and after going potty, she fainted while Jen was dressing her. Jennifer then called Brandy and Cassandra, and then Cassandra called 911. Jennifer was again asked over and over about Sophia falling or being shaken. And eventually, Sophia is taken to Pittsburgh Children's Hospital, where tensions were rising amongst the family, and Jen was asked to leave.
Did you? What was your guys' conversation on the way to Pittsburgh? Did you guys talk about this? Did Cody ask any questions about what happened? You didn't talk about it at all. He didn't ask you what happened in the morning. You didn't tell him explain anything to him. He didn't ask any questions about what happened.
No.
But you knew at that point what was wrong with Sophie.
Pretty much that she was just, I figured she was just sick.
Okay. But did you know what was wrong with her?
Do you know what's wrong with her now?
Not really.
Well, let me ask you this. You're down there in Pittsburgh. Were you included in the conversations with the doctors and nurses and stuff? Were you part of the conversations there?
Like, I heard them, and...
So you were in the room when they were discussing things that were going on, correct? All right. So was there times when they talked to Cody by himself?
No.
So you were around the whole time? Okay. So what are they telling? What did they tell you guys is wrong?
That she had some type of blood in the brain. Like, it was just one patch.
All right.
And that's like all I heard.
That's what they told him, okay. Did they talk to them about how serious this is, or?
Cody asked what was the probability of full recovery, and the doctor said 0.
All right, so do you understand what that means? Do you realize what that means, Jennifer?
Yeah.
All right.
What does that mean?
What does that mean to you? 0 chance of, or probability, however Cody worded it, that
she would recover. What does that mean to you?
She wouldn't recover at all.
But what does that mean? I mean, when you picture that in your mind, what do you think that means? I mean, if someone said to you, there's a 0% chance that she's going to recover, what does that mean to you?
That there's like nothing that they could do.
Okay. Did they talk to them about anything else?
Did they say where the injuries may have came from? Or what caused her brain to start bleeding?
No.
They didn't discuss that with them? You? Like I said, they didn't talk to them alone? Were you with Cody the whole time?
Yeah, and then like a social worker, there were 2 of them that came in and talked to us.
Together?
Yeah,
Or separate?
together.
Together? 2 social workers talked to both of you together. Did anyone ever talk to you by yourself?
No. Other than that one that told me that I had to...
To leave?
Yeah.
But did the doctor talk to you at all?
Nope.
You don't recall the doctor talking to you?
No. Not alone.
Okay, but did the doctor ask you any questions?
No.
Since you were the last one she was in your care? Are you sure?
Yeah. They were all asking him questions, and we all were.
Okay, when you were in Pittsburgh, could you have talked to the doctor and not known it was the doctor?
I would have known it was the doctor because it was the only one that was tall and everything.
Okay, was it a male or a female doctor?
It was a male.
Okay. Did you talk to any female doctors?
No.
Okay.
It was just, there was a guy nurse first, and then they switched and it came to a girl.
Okay.
Where'd you guys stay? Did you stay right in the room?
Me and Cody fell asleep on the couch. It would have pulled out into a bed, but we just fell asleep.
Right, so they had couches right in the room.
Yeah.
So you stayed in the room the whole time.
Yeah, they were going to try and get us a Ronald McDonald house,
Mm-hmm.
but that didn't happen.
Okay. No, where did his mom stay? She stayed there too?
His Uncle Donnie showed up around like 12:30 that morning. I don't know. It was a.m. and they stayed in a private room.
Okay.
Like you walk out of the PICU, that's what they call it.
Yeah, that's pediatric intensive care unit.
Did Sophie have any problems as far as coordination? She walked okay? I mean, she got around okay for a 2-year-old.
Yeah, she was walking around.
And at any point in that morning, did she fall? Did she hit her head? Didn't trip over the dog?
No.
Nothing.
The dog moves whenever you walk.
From the time she got up in the morning till the time where she fainted, at any point did she cry?
No.
She never cried?
No.
Never, like I said, total, normal, happy, healthy Sophie. Nothing that would have led you to believe that maybe she hit her own head, fell down, nothing like that.
No, unless she did it, like, in her pack and play, but...
Right, but she would have probably cried then, right? I mean, if she hurt herself, she would have cried. Was that a fair statement?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, typically when she got hurt, did she cry?
Most of the time, not all the time, but if it was like a little bump or something, she wouldn't cry.
Okay.
But sometimes she would hit her head off the coffee table whenever she'd get up.
Okay.
And she wouldn't cry.
Okay.
It'd leave a bruise, but she wouldn't cry.
Did she have any marks on her? Did she have any red marks on her head that you saw when she got up? Did she have any cuts on her face?
No.
Okay. You said you noticed blood once Diz got there.
Yeah, it was down here on her...
Was her lip cut?
No, it was just down here on her chin.
Where did that come from, do you know?
It wasn't there whenever I had her. Pee-wee even seen that it wasn't there.
Just like a little speck of blood, or?
Yeah, it was just a little, like, dot.
Were her lips dry?
Not really.
No? And she didn't have a cut on her lip? Because the EMT that I talked to said she had a small cut right here on her lip.
No, I didn't see it.
Okay.
And now listen to this segment. Pennsylvania State Troopers, McGinnis and Jones, aren't getting the answers that they want. This is when I believe the interview turns into an interrogation, and they never back down. Keep in mind, Sophia's autopsy had not even been performed at this point.
Here's the problem, Jennifer, is that the people in Pittsburgh are telling us that this is caused by an injury. All right, it's not caused by her being sick. What happened to her? Okay, it's not that she was sick, and it's not like an illness where like maybe somebody older had a heart attack or a stroke or something like that, an aneurysm, different things like that, medically wrong that could cause somebody to go into sudden illness this severe. Okay, they're saying that this is an injury. What they mean by that injury is that something happened to her, some kind of trauma happened to her to cause this injury, and that it wasn't from an accident. In other words, it wasn't done, she didn't on accident, it wasn't an accident like she fell or bumped her head or something like that, that something more severe happened to her. All right?
Yeah.
Okay. You're the last one that was with her, okay, when this happened. That's why we need to find out from you exactly what happened. So we need to know what caused this injury. Something caused this injury. They're saying something caused it, and it's not that she fell or bumped her head, that most likely someone caused the injury to her.
I have no idea. I'm being honest, I have no idea.
Well, you need to be honest, because we need to get to the bottom of this, okay? It's very important. She is very sick. You understand? I don't know if you... I don't think you realize how serious this is. That's what bothers me.
I get how serious it is because the doctors were saying that she's really sick and everything.
Okay. They tell you like she's really sick, like she might die sick?
Yeah.
So you understand that? That sick that she probably won't make it? So we need to understand what happened that morning. Something happened, and we need you to help us understand what happened that morning. That's what they're telling you. Something happened, and we need you to tell us that. You're the one that was there with her, okay? So you need to help us understand what happened. Did something go bad that you didn't mean to happen? She got up, her pants were wet. You're frustrated with her. You're mad at Cody the night before because he's up there snorting pills, and that upset you, and she's been throwing up, and that on and on and on. You've been put in a situation where you're stuck 24/7 caring for her. He doesn't want to help you. Did something maybe happen? I don't think you did something on purpose, but I think something happened, and it just, as a result of it, it went bad, and not...
It's actually, it's like me, okay, and it's like all of us here. We all have bills to pay. We all have stresses. I have kids. My kids have had me at wit's end to the point where they're driving you insane, okay? I understand that frustration is there. I know exactly what people feel like when they're around kids. Okay, I do. I totally empathize with that. I've had it to the point where I've actually had to have my wife step in because they had me to the last straw, okay? And you didn't have that support with Cody that I have. I can tell my wife, hey, you got to take these kids for a minute because they're driving me crazy. They really are. I understand where you were. I understand that there was that frustration and that tension, okay? And if something happened, it doesn't make you a bad person. It's not that you're mean or you're malicious or you meant to do anything. But it's just that frustration that's there, and it just gets directed to the person that's right there, which happened to be Sophie. Okay? And that's what she's trying to say. You need to be completely honest with us. We're not saying that you're a bad person or anything like that, but you've got to tell us what happened.
Normally, if I'm frustrated, I just go back to the back bedroom and I sit and let everything just calm down in me. It's normally what I do.
Okay. Well, what did you do that morning though when you were frustrated? You're frustrated that morning. First of all, tell me why you were frustrated that morning. What frustrated you? Because she peed her pants?
I didn't really care that she did because she was sick.
Yeah, but something frustrated. Come on, Jennifer. Be honest with me, okay? What frustrated you that morning? Something frustrated you that morning. You were upset for something that she did.
I was more mad at Cody for doing that, but I wouldn't take it out on her.
Well, did you hear what he just said? I know you wouldn't under normal circumstances, but that's what happens sometimes. We get mad. You know, you're at work here. I get mad at work at, things that go on here. Guess who I take it out on more likely? Do I take it out on people here most likely, or guess what happens? Who do I take it out on, you think? My family when I go home. That's just the way it is, you know what I'm saying? So you could be mad at one person, you take it out on another. I guess that's the point I'm trying to say to you. So I understand your intentions weren't to take it out on Sophia because you had no reason to take it out on her, but you're mad at Cody because of the way that he's been treating you, the situation he's put you in and things like that. So you're frustrated at him, so you're upset with him, and then you, like you said, you wake up and there you are taking care of his kid again while he's off doing whatever. I mean, he's working, grant you, but it sounds like he pretty much does whatever he wants and lets you stuck with him. And I think you even told me the other day that somebody, your family, friends, somebody say, he pretty much just got you for a live-in babysitter.
Yeah,
that's what you told me.
That's what my dad told me and my mom and my dad's friend Scott told me that he works with
So
me.
we understand why you'd be frustrated, okay? But so you're saying you were frustrated with Cody in the morning? More so than Sophia.
I let it die down. I wasn't really that frustrated.
Well, you were frustrated enough that you did something to hurt her.
But I didn't hurt her.
This is where we need you to be honest. What happened? They're saying, the medical people, listen to what I'm saying. They're saying this injury was caused to this child within a short time, within minutes from the time that she started having difficulties. And guess who was there? You. You're the one that's there. You need to tell us what happened. What did you do to her when you were upset?
I didn't do anything to her.
And the other thing, Sophie, there may be something that if you did do, we can call Pittsburgh and they might be able to provide some type of treatment to help. Okay, so if it was I grabbed her and I threw her down and she hit her head, and you tell Pittsburgh that, they may be able to provide some type of treatment for her that would be beneficial.
We'd be better able to understand if we know what happened.
Everything was normal.
Justin Jones knew damn well that nothing Jennifer said would be able to help baby Sophia in getting beneficial treatment. Sophia Hoffman failed the brain death test the night of the 16th, and then again on the morning of this interrogation. He knew nothing could help poor Sophia. Are you guys starting to see why it's so important to always invoke your Sixth Amendment right and have an attorney present? Back to the interrogation.
Okay, until a certain point. I agree with that. Everything was normal to a certain point. You got up, you did this. Everything was normal, but then something happened. Within minutes before she started not breathing, something went bad then. That's what we need to talk about. What went bad from the time she got up till she started having trouble breathing? That's what they're saying. That's when something went bad, okay? What happened? We need you to explain to us what happened. I agree, like he's saying, I don't think you're a bad person, okay? And I don't think you intentionally meant to do anything to harm her. But I think you were frustrated at Cody, and Sophia just happened to be there, and maybe she did a little something extra, just the fact that she peed her pants was just more than you could handle that morning. And just, maybe you just snapped for a brief moment and did something that you really didn't mean to do.
But I didn't do anything, I swear.
You understand what they're saying? Something had to happen.
Yeah, I get that, but I swear to God, I didn't do anything.
Did you grab her and just bump her head on something, or I don't know, just out of, grab a hold of her like, oh, I'm tired of you peeing your pants. Every time I turn around, you're peeing your pants, and I'm sick of cleaning up your vomit, and, something like that. Just grab a hold of her and shake her a little bit, and because you're upset that it's the same thing every morning. Pee pants. All week, all you've been doing is cleaning up vomit, and it's that's draining on a person every day. Having to do that kind of stuff.
Well, she hasn't been really peeing in her pants. It was just that one time.
Okay, all right. But what had you angry that morning?
Nothing. I wasn't that angry.
So you're saying you weren't that angry that morning? Then how did this happen? You have to explain to us. We don't understand how this happened then.
I don't know how it happened.
I think you do know. I think you're afraid to tell us. That's the difference. I think you do know that this happened or what happened. I know you know what happened. You were there. You're the only one that was there. You know what happened. You need to tell us what happened.
I seriously don't know what happened to her, though. I can't even cry because I cried all my tears out.
Well, that's fine. You don't have to cry. I'm nobody's saying anything. I'm not going to say it doesn't change anything if you cry or don't cry. I want you to just be honest with us and tell us what happened. You know what happened, Jennifer, okay? You were there. This child does not go from just coming out of there being a happy child to all of a sudden having these problems. It just does not happen that way. And that's what the medical people are saying. This is not just something that just happens. It's not like she had a heart attack. What's that?
It's not like normal.
No, it's not like normal at all. It's far from normal. Something happened. And they're saying someone caused that. Okay? They're not saying it's caused by anything else. They're saying it's caused by someone. And we've been in contact with them the last couple days numerous times.
Before, I'd pick her up and I'd spin around with her. And
did you pick her up and spin around that morning?
No.
How would you pick her up and spin around when you pick her up? What do you mean pick her up and spin around?
I don't know if I could demonstrate it.
You can demonstrate.
She'd be right here on me, and I just go like this and just spin around.
Spin around with her, holding her.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'd stop, and then I just go the other way, and then we'd stop, and I'd just keep doing it because she'd laugh and everything.
Okay. Did you do that at all that morning? What did you do that morning then?
Changed her.
And what else? You're going to feel a whole lot better once we get this. This isn't going to go away. You understand that also?
Yeah.
This is serious. We are going to keep working on this till we find out what happened to that little girl. We're not going to stop, okay? So it's not going to go away today. It's not going to go away tomorrow. It's not going to go away next week or the week after or whenever. It is not going to go away. Do you believe me when I say that?
Yeah.
It is not going away. I guarantee you it is not going away. So we need to find out now what happened to that little girl.
Seriously, I don't even know. unless I blacked out, but I was focused.
What do you mean unless you blacked out? Were you doing drugs the night before?
No.
You don't do drugs?
No.
So why would you black out?
I have no idea. I never blacked out before. I don't even know how.
Okay, so then that kind of doesn't make sense, does it?
Not really, but unless I did, I don't know how.
Well, listen, you're going to feel better. You believe me, you probably had a rough couple days with all this going on.
I hardly even slept.
And if we get this resolved, you're going to feel a lot better if we know what happened. Trust me. Might be difficult to admit what happened and whatnot, but once it's all said and done, you're going to feel a lot better because you've done the right thing.
But I didn't do anything to her. I couldn't do anything to a 2-year-old.
Most people think that, okay? Most people think I couldn't hurt someone. But sometimes people do things and they don't mean to do them. That's what I'm trying to say. Here's the thing. Which is it, Jennifer? Are you this person? There's one of two types you could be. Are you the person that is just like a horrible person who's just mean and could just hurt somebody and not think twice about it? Or are you the person that, things just got to the best of you, you're in a bad situation, lost control for a few seconds and maybe did something that you didn't mean to do and it went bad? I personally, my time I've spent with you in the last couple, Friday and today, my personal opinion is you're not that mean, vicious person that just goes out looking for people to hurt him for something to do, okay? Definitely not. Do I think that maybe you're frustrated, you've been in a bad situation, and you just had enough of it, and you overreacted to something, and things went bad, and you did not mean for them to happen? That's what I think happened. I don't think you meant for anything to happen bad. You just were put in a bad situation, and it got worse. That's what I think. I think you're a good person who got in a bad situation, who maybe made a bad choice for a few seconds there, and do you agree? Is that the person you are?
I'm a good person, but I wouldn't snap on anybody. Like a little kid, I'd snap on Cody.
But you see where do you believe people can do that? I think people, even good people, can snap. So
anybody can snap.
Right, as Trooper Jones is saying, you have kids, everyone knows, they can be frustrating and you need that support, and if you don't have that support of, two people, sometimes it takes two people. I think that's why it was intended that there's mom and dads, because you need two people, you need support to do parenting. Parenting's a tough thing, and everyone gets to that point where you think, and you have to walk away but you didn't have that luxury because Cody really wasn't that supportive to you.
Okay, McGinnis. I can play your game too. There's one of two types of investigators that you can be. One with integrity and one without integrity. Are you the investigator that doesn't give a shit about anything other than getting a conviction? Or are you the investigator that dives deep into your cases, looks at all options, questions the experts, and is proud to lay your head on your pillow at night knowing you are doing everything you can to get Sophia true justice? I personally, in my time listening to your interviews, my personal opinion is that you are an investigator with zero integrity, that goes out looking for people to convict without a proper investigation and without proper evidence. Do I think you're a bully cop that has pressure on you to get a confession no matter what? Yep, that's what I think. That's exactly what I think happened. Here we go.
Do you know what happened to Sophie? If you did, would you tell me?
Yeah.
If you did do something, would you tell us?
Yeah.
You would?
I wouldn't hide it from you guys. I didn't want to tell you guys that Cody was doing pills, but...
Well, I appreciate that. I understand that, but would you really... There's a little difference telling us that he would do something or that he did something than you telling us that you did something. You understand that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's easier for me to say, oh, he did something than to admit to it myself, that I did something. You know what I mean? It's easier to tell on somebody else than yourself, so to speak.
Well, I'd tell you guys if I did drugs or if I did anything to soap, but I don't do drugs.
But would you? Because you're probably scared. I'm sure you're scared.
Well, I never had this happen before, so...
Well, right. I understand that.
I'd still tell you guys.
If you did do something to Soph, should you be scared?
Why?
That's what I'm asking you.
No.
Okay, so if you did do anything to her, there's no reason to be scared, right?
I guess.
Okay. Again, do you know what happened to her?
Honestly, no.
Would you like to tell me what happened to her?
I don't even know what happened to her, or else I'd say.
Well, that's where we have difference of opinion here, because I think you do know what happened, okay? You're sitting there saying you don't know what happened, and I think you're sitting there doing that because you are scared, but I think that you do know, okay? I've been doing this for a long time, and I don't think you're being 100% honest with me. I think you do know what happened. You were there. You and her. You were the only two there. You know what happened. They're saying it happened right then and there. You have to know. You were there.
Yeah, but I don't know.
How would you not know?
I don't know. Nothing happened.
I mean, the medical people are saying this is when it happened. This is what happened. Someone caused this injury to this child, and it would have been whoever was there within a few minutes from the time that she stopped breathing normally. Who was there when she stopped breathing normally? You.
She was still breathing normal, and then Pee-wee came, and it's like...
Yeah, Pee-wee didn't do anything to her. You already called Pee-wee all frantic saying that something was wrong with her before Pee-wee got there. I'm saying that they're saying whenever she stopped being non-responsive, when she went unresponsive, and you described her as she fainted.
I didn't know she went unresponsive then.
Well, that's what unresponsive is. If you're breathing, but you're not, she's kind of unconscious then. You were the one that was there, and they're saying that's when it would have happened, within a few minutes from the time that she stopped and this injury would have occurred.
Unless she fell, but she didn't fall. But
well, you would know if she fell. You're there, right?
Yeah, but she didn't fall.
Okay, then what happened then? That's what we're saying. She didn't fall, so what happened? You need to tell us what happened.
But I didn't do anything to her.
What happened?
And I don't know what happened.
Did she fall off of something? What? You have to give us something, Jennifer, to tell us what happened to her. You were there.
Well, before she used to get like really dizzy whenever she'd go to the bathroom, and she'd always like lean up and like go for the coffee table, and then she'd like go back, and then she'd just sit on her potty like she got up too quick or something.
Okay, but we're talking Friday. What happened Friday?
Everything was normal.
So everything couldn't have been normal. If everything would have been normal, then we wouldn't be having this conversation. Because if everything was normal, Sophie wouldn't be up there fighting for her life if everything went normal Friday morning at the house. I guarantee you. She would not be up there fighting to live. And we wouldn't be having this conversation. Because if everything was normal Friday morning, there would be no conversation now. You understand that? Because she wouldn't be sick. She wouldn't be in the hospital about to die. We're here because something happened and she's up there fighting for her life. That's why we're having this conversation today. You need to tell us what that something is that happened.
I don't know what happened. I didn't do anything. I swear to God.
You want to take a break?
I guess.
Yeah, let's take a break. All right, this is we're back in the room with Jennifer MEDZIE, myself, Corporal McGinnis, and Trooper Jones. Continuing the interview. The time is 1,400 hours. All right, Jennifer, we just want to go over a couple more things here. All right. We've talked to you briefly about this before, but here's where we're at. We need to know what happened, okay? And the reason it's important, and Trooper Jones made reference to this earlier, is so we can tell those people in Pittsburgh what happened, and maybe they can help this could help save her life, okay, if we know exactly what happened, okay? If it's something was just this or that or whatnot. That's why it's so important that we figure out what happened here, okay? So we need to know what happened that morning. And like I said earlier, I don't think you're this vicious person that did something. I think that, it was an accident, that something just, but we need to know what that accident was or what happened that...
Nothing happened.
But by you saying what happened, Jennifer, you could potentially rectify something that you may have done wrong. Okay, you may have made a mistake.
Rectify.
Make it right. You may have made a mistake and did something to her that caused this injury, that put her there. But by you telling us what happened, the potential may be there for you to help these doctors help her. Okay, you may have you have the ability to possibly make the difference one way or the other. By you saying this is what I did, and the doctors find that out, they may be able to provide some type of care that they otherwise wouldn't have been able to. You could make that wrong right. Okay?
Yeah, I can get that.
And it's like we said, I don't believe you're a bad person. She doesn't believe you're a bad person. I don't believe that you did anything intentionally to maliciously hurt her. Okay? But something happened. And within a short time frame of that something happening, her breathing changed. This is what we know. Okay? You were the only person with her. Can you make the wrong right?
But I didn't do anything to harm her.
Did you shake her at all? Were you upset and gave her a little... It makes a difference. Is it, was it one shake, two shakes?
I might have whenever I picked her up, but I don't normally shake a kid whenever I pick them up.
How would you have shaken her when you picked her up? Was it a little shake?
Well, it wasn't. No, I don't even think I shook her, to be honest. I just probably whenever I picked her up and set her down, like pulled her over the thing and set her down. I might have jerked her head.
Do you know you jerked her head?
I do that every morning. I just pick her, pop her down.
But that's just normal, picking her up and getting her out of her crib. Let me ask you this: what do you...
I might have done it harder that day, but I don't think I did. It was just all.
You might have, or you did.
I might have, but it's just all the same thing. I'm pretty sure to God I didn't. It's just the same thing over and over again every day. It's up, over, down. Up, over, down. Or whenever I lay her down, I have her here and I hold her head. It's like this, and then I just lay her down and just plop her down. Or not.
Could you have dropped her that morning and her maybe bounced off the couch or bounced off the floor?
You drop her, maybe you don't want to say anything because you're afraid to tell Cody that him and his family would be upset if it was an accident where you picked her up and she got dropped and.
I didn't have her on my side or anything to where I'd let her go.
Okay, and you were maybe playing with her, tossing her up a little bit?
She don't like being tossed up in the air. I tried it one time and she clung on to me because I was just like, come on, airplane or something, and she just stuck.
Okay,
I'm like, okay.
How about spinning her? Were you spinning her that morning and dropped her? She let go, flies over, hits something?
I wouldn't let her go by herself. I'd have my arms around her.
Okay. What do you think should happen to someone who would cause an injury to a 2-year-old like this?
What do you mean?
what do you think should happen to a person? Someone who does something to cause an injury to a team member, that puts them into the hospital under these situations. The person that caused this injury to Sophie, what do you believe should happen to them?
They should probably go to jail.
For how long?
Oh, I don't know.
Any idea?
What do you think would be an appropriate time to go to jail for? If you did something like that?
Well, I don't even know. I know Cody was in jail for selling drugs for a year, but I wouldn't know about that. About like,
What do you think would be a correct punishment? Okay, let me put it to you this way. You're going to be the person saying, you hurt Sophie, you're going to do X amount of time in jail. How long would you make that person go to jail for?
a year, two.
Okay. Do you think a person who do you think the person that hurt Sophie can be helped?
Like, what do you mean?
Do you think that they can make do you think that they can make that wrong right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you believe that they can be helped. I mean, call it what you want. The jails call it rehabilitation, whatever you want to call it. Do you think that person can come out of this okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. I'm not sure.
Do you think they're entitled to a second chance?
Yeah.
The person that hurt Sophie, do you believe that they're entitled to a second chance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that wrong?
No,
that's your opinion.
This is your opinion.
Oh.
We're just asking you what your opinion is. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, we all have our own opinions, and they can vary. I just wanted to know your opinion on it. I believe they can be helped too. I do. Okay? And like I said, I don't believe that every person who does something is a bad person. Okay? Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody, including myself. I am no better or worse than you. Our mistakes may have been different, but I am no better person than you are. Okay? I'm not here to judge you. Neither is she. Nobody in this building is here to judge you. That's not what I'm here for. Okay? I'm here to try to figure out what happened so I can get this little girl the help that she needed.
What a joke. You are not here to judge Jen? Bullshit. That's all you two bullies have been doing the whole time. You are 100% judging Jennifer MEDZIE. Just like I am judging both of you as a result of these interrogation tactics.
I know that his dad, she fell off the top of the couch and fell right on the floor and like smacked her head pretty hard.
When was that?
Week or two ago.
Now this was whose dad's house?
Cody's.
Cody's dad's house. She was there, fell off the couch. Did she have a mark?
They said that she cried, but then she quit.
You guys weren't there?
No.
So
They were watching her.
They were watching and they told you?
Yeah.
Did she have any marks though? I mean, did she?
Not that I-
typically, you hit
not
your
that-
head, you get a goose egg.
Not that I seen. I really wasn't looking. Like, they would have showed us if anything.
Okay, so nothing that you know of.
But she seemed fine after that.
That's what his dad said. Like, she would get up and she'd play
Okay.
with his little sister.
Is there a chance that you caused this injury to Sophie accidentally, or I'm not saying intentionally? Is there a chance that accidentally you spinning her? Again, I am not saying
I
you're
didn't
doing it
spin her
intentionally.
that morning.
I understand, but is there a chance that there's something that you did to her that would have caused the injury to Sophie?
No.
Any small little thing you can tell me may help. From the time she got up in the morning till the time she actually started, or actually from the time she woke up, the first time you saw her to the time she fainted, How much time went by there?
5-10 minutes.
Okay, so it was pretty quick.
More than like
Get her out
10
of bed,
minutes.
put her on the floor, take her out, put her on the pot, start changing her clothes, bang. Okay.
I try and do everything like normal. Like I try and keep it a routine.
Okay. Did the routine change that day?
Whenever she fainted, yeah.
What about before that?
No.
Nothing changed that morning that would have changed the routine.
No. Everything was just normal. I took her diaper off. I took her pretty pajamas off.
No. What if I told you that the hospital has the ability to actually perform a test where they can determine infants have soft bones. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not like ours. They're not as hard. They haven't hardened yet fully. So what if I told you that the hospital would be able to pull, if you grab a child so hard and squeeze them, if you could leave your fingerprints in their soft bones, if you squeeze that child hard enough and your fingerprints were to be left on those bones of the kid, if I told you the hospital was able to do that, what is that test going to show me?
It's not mine. To be honest. I didn't squeeze her head. First, I wouldn't do that. I don't even do it to mine. Or my nephew, or anyone's.
Yeah. Why did you say her head?
Well, you said that's where her blood is.
Right, but it could have been any bone. Okay?
Well, that's what I was thinking. It'd be, you guys would say the head.
That's,
Since it's the blood's there.
well, that's where the injury's at. You're right. That's where the blood's at. It's in their head. But there can also be, you can also be grabbed other places and it affects that.
No, I just picked her up underneath her armpits. It's like, out, go. Like I'd rub her hair whenever she was walking. And that was it.
You understand, Jennifer, the importance of us knowing, like we said, so we can help her.
Yeah.
Okay? It's very important. And I think you know, again, I'm going to say, because I think you do know a little something, I think you're hesitant to say anything for whatever reason, you know, what happened that morning that we could give back to the hospital so they can help her and do the right thing.
Did you catch that? Pennsylvania State Trooper Justin Jones, and later on you'll hear Kimberly Ronan and Mary McGinnis agreeing. He asked Jennifer, what if I told you if you grab a child so hard and squeeze them, you could leave your fingerprints on their soft bones? What is that test going to show me? He wondered. This is so embarrassing for Pennsylvania State Police. Justin, the test would certainly not show you any fingerprints. And according to AI, here's why. Fingerprints are formed by natural oils and residue left on your fingertips. Bones are non-porous, and they don't absorb these oils and residues, so no fingerprints can be left behind. It goes on to say that even if you squeeze someone's bone, the force alone won't create a fingerprint, as the bone surface is not conducive to fingerprint formation. You're welcome for making you just a little smarter, Mary, Kim, and Justin. Shame on all of you.
What would you like to see the outcome of this whole thing be?
Her come home.
Okay. Do you think the person that did this would like to take what they did back?
Might imagine.
Okay, because if you would imagine, then you think the person that did this would like to take what they did back?
I'd imagine they'd like to get a crystal ball. Like Cody kept saying, he wants a crystal ball.
What Cody say that?
I don't know. He just said he wants a crystal ball.
For what purpose does he want a crystal ball?
To go back. That's what he kept telling me. He wants a crystal ball so he can go back.
Go back for what?
So she wasn't in the hospital.
Did he say anything else? Want a crystal ball for anything else?
No.
Just that she wouldn't be in the hospital. What kind of things did you guys talk about at the hospital?
We really didn't even talk.
When did he
Like,
mention?
none of us really talked.
When did he mention to you about the crystal ball?
It was like, it was nighttime though. It was the first time that we got there. First night. It was like 10:30.
Is he going to remember telling you he wants a crystal ball?
Yeah.
Okay.
He said it a couple times.
How about you? Would you like a crystal ball?
I like it so she wouldn't be in there. No 2-year-old should be in there. Not even an adult like that.
I think you do know what happened. That's what we need you to tell us what happened.
I don't know what happened.
Okay. Now, you keep telling yourself that you don't know what happened, okay? But I think you do know what happened, but you keep telling yourself that I don't know what happened, okay? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to really deal with what happened, so you're kind of telling yourself, I don't know what happened, because you don't want to deal with what happened, okay? I think there's a difference. I think you know what happened, but you're telling yourself that I don't know what happened because I don't want to deal with this.
Seriously, I don't know what happened. If I knew what happened, I'd tell you guys so you guys could fix her.
You realize holding things in can eat you away.
I'm not holding anything in though.
How are we going to get this resolved, Jennifer?
I'm trying to rewind in my mind of everything that went on Friday. But everything was just the same.
Let's rewind to the time maybe when something happened around that time and think hard about that time, what happened. You told us earlier you were upset with Cody.
Yeah, but then I slept it off.
Well, you said you were still in the morning when we talked about there a little bit ago. You said I say about being upset or frustrated with Sophia, and you said no, but you were frustrated with him.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think you were completely over it come morning.
I just wish you wouldn't have done the drugs.
Right, but I'm saying I think you were still upset with him come morning.
I was kind of used to it, but he didn't need to do that whenever he was getting his child back.
Okay.
Plus, he had work the next day, and he normally does them on Saturdays.
What, drugs?
Yeah.
Is that the only day?
Yeah.
But what, his buddies come over and he does it earlier in the week?
That was the first time that someone has been over to his house in months. I don't know how long. And he left because he's like, I have to go meet Ronnie, and they were talking about 7 for $35. So I was picturing drug deal, because you don't go 7 for $35 for 7 hoagies for $35.
Okay.
I know his brother does drugs, and so does Pee-wee, but... And I know Pee-wee smokes weed.
Would it surprise you to find out later that her injuries were due to being shaken?
I'd be shocked.
You'd be shocked. Why?
Because I didn't shake her.
I didn't say you did. What I asked you was, would you be surprised to find out that her injuries were caused by being shaken?
Yeah, because I don't see how she could shake herself, and I didn't shake her, and I'm pretty sure Cody didn't shake her because he checked on her before he left.
But that's just based on him telling you that, right?
Yeah.
You weren't up when he left.
No. I heard him talking to his brother, but then I fell back asleep, and
Okay.
after that it's out.
I'm going to stop this for a second.
The recording stops, and a trooper, Kimberly Ronan, enters the room. She never formally introduces herself to Jennifer, only calling herself the, quote, polygraph examiner, end quote. I call her bully number 3.
Hey, I am the polygraph examiner, okay? Do you know what a polygraph is?
Is that like a lie detector test?
Yeah, and I understand that you're an investigation involving a baby, 2-year-old baby. And up to this point, I've kind of been listening to your interview and stuff, okay? And you're denying doing any wrongdoing, having any contact with the baby that would cause her injuries. Is that right? And I know they're talking about that morning, but we're talking about any time you've been with her. Have you ever shaken her at all to get her attention or anything?
Like
Just
whenever
one
she was
time or
like
100
sleeping, I
times?
was like, I'd like, so wake up.
Okay, so never
And I'd
shook,
like shake her arm.
never
or
shook
something.
her head, never shook her body once or 100 times, anything like that.
No, I'd never do it 100 times, and I would never do it once.
What, never once? Are you sure? Okay. All right. I know they were telling you that Pittsburgh called and wants some information about how, what happened to the baby. And you're probably the only one that can provide us with any information on what happened to the baby because you're the last one with her, correct? And they're saying it happened within minutes. So is there any way you can help us help the baby so we can get her home? Is there any way that you can explain what happened?
No, unless she hit her head whenever she was going pee, but
Well, we know she didn't hit her head because she doesn't have any trauma on her skin or anything like that. It was definitely some type of movement like this. So do you remember doing that to her? I mean, maybe it wasn't that morning. Maybe we're a little bit off. Maybe it was a couple of days before, something like that. She kind
she
of...
was sick, I wouldn't shake her and her puke on me.
Okay, because I know Corporal McGinnis, things happen. We all have kids, and sometimes I have to walk away from my kids. I know when they were babies. And at one time, there was an accident. I actually fell on the steps with my little boy and knocked his head off the wall and put a hole in the wall. Had to take him to the hospital. So I know things can happen, accidents can happen. Things can be explained. But right now we don't have any explanation for these injuries. We know that, the baby is sick and we need to help him. We're trying to explain what happened. Is there any way you can help us? I mean, if it was an accident, this is the opportunity to tell us so we can work through it. Was it an accident or was it intentional? That's what we're trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Was it an accident? Was there any type of accident that happened that you're just afraid to tell because you're 18 years old and, you're just scared? So what happened? Was there some type of accident? If there's an accident, then let us know, hon.
No, there was none, but the day before, she had the roller and she was waving it around.
Mm-hmm.
She was just going crazy with it. She was going to start hitting people with it.
What did you do to her?
Well, Cody yelled at her.
Okay.
Said that he was going to smack her butt. I don't feel like I should swear in here, but...
Okay.
No, you can swear.
Okay, well, here's what I do. I do lie detectors. So are you willing to take a lie detector test on this today?
Oh, I never took one.
Well, a lot of people never have. That's a good thing, okay? But great thing about it, if you didn't do this, if you did not cause the injuries to Sophia, you'll pass it and we can wipe you off our piece of paper here.
Do I have to take one?
They're voluntary, okay? And listen, if you need to think about it, that's fine. But here's my advice. This is what I tell everybody. If you're innocent and you have nothing to hide, it's worth doing. I've cleared a lot of people, and I'm telling you, if you did not do this, then you should take it, okay? Because if you have nothing to hide, right? That's how I feel. If I didn't do this, I'd say, Trooper Ronan, hook me up because I want to get this over this. I want to prove to you I didn't do it. So you don't waste your time anymore on me. You can waste your time on somebody else who actually harmed the baby. So, I mean, it's up to you. I'm not, it's voluntary. You don't have to take it, but it's out there for you. Okay, but if you did do this, okay, and this looking at you and just watching your interview, I'm going to tell you right now, there was no intent, even if you did harm this baby. You did not mean to harm this baby. It sounds like you were put in a situation that you should have never been put in. You're 18 years old.
That's what everybody says.
You quit school because of this. I'm going to call him right. I know him. He's a jerk, okay? And all he cares about is himself. I know it. I knew it 3 years ago when I dealt with the kid, okay?
3 years ago?
Yeah, he's been in trouble for a long time. And you know what? He sought you out for whatever reason. I don't know if he heard you had a weakness for whoever, you had a big heart. He was looking for a mom for his baby, and he sought you out. He brought you into his house, and then he said, here's my baby. Why go out and run around, okay?
Yeah, I met her the first time that I came there, and she was so adorable and everything.
Okay.
And she would always come to me because Cody would yell at her. And then he's like, you have to discipline her too. And I didn't feel right doing it because she's not mine.
Okay.
He's like, you have to start because she bit me the one day. And it hurts. And I started crying. And I'm like, you're going to bed.
What's the worst thing you've ever done to her?
Smack
Or
her
discipline?
butt.
Smack her butt.
Or like
So
I
you
should put
never-
her finger up her nose. Like,
You never grabbed her and was like, Sophia, listen to me. You never did anything like that. You never grabbed her by her head. Because I know Trooper Jones was telling you about that bone scan that they run on them. And what they do is any type of fingerprints on the baby's bones. What we'll do is...
look, I'd brush her hair and I'd hold her head because she'd have knots.
No, we're talking about, like some type of holding when you're actually shaking them. You're going to have to hold them pretty sternly. I'm not talking about you just holding her head like this. Kind of like a firm hold. I'm talking about when you have to grab her head like that, or you have to grab her to shake her a little bit. That's what I'm talking about. Is there any reason why your fingerprints would be on her bones?
No, only whenever I'd go and pick her up out of bed.
Okay.
Or brushing her hair.
Okay, but whenever it's a shaking, you can see it's more than once. You can see prints. You can just tell exactly what they did. Not that you just picked her up and held her, but if there was something recent where you shook her, would there be any reason why your prints would be on her bones? You're 100% certain of that? Okay, well, that's a good thing then.
More ridiculousness spewing from a Pennsylvania state trooper. Fingerprints on her bones? What the fuck?
Unless, like, Cody did it because he has a temper.
Okay, what's the worst thing he's ever done to her?
Smacked her butt and left a handprint, like, on her thigh. And, like, the other day, he was tired of her crying. He smacked her butt, and I thought he was going to suffocate her with a blanket because he threw the blanket in her face. And he held it there for a little bit, but then he, like, backed off.
Was she crying?
Non-stop.
How'd that make you
He's
feel?
like, shut the F up. He's like, you're just effing going pee.
That's crazy.
Yes, Kim, that is crazy. Now do something about it. Or do you have tunnel vision on Jennifer MEDZIE and have already cleared Cody, or anyone else for that matter, in your mind?
Did you love Sophia?
Like she was my own.
What did she call you anything?
Jen.
Jen?
Sometimes she'd say Mom.
How'd that make you feel?
I'm like, I'm not Mom.
You don't want her to call you Mom?
I'm not her mom, so why call me Mom?
Yeah, but you were acting like a mother, right? You were a good mom to her? What were some things you guys, what's the best memory with Sophia?
Whenever I'd always change her earrings, she'd always want to take a picture.
When you'd what?
Change her earrings or do her hair, she'd always want a picture taken.
So you would do her hair? Did she have long hair? I don't even know what she looks like.
It was short.
Is she a pretty girl? Yeah.
If I had my phone, I'd show you.
Did you ever take her anywhere with you?
No, it was always with Cody. I didn't have a car.
Oh, so he kept you at the house like a hostage on top of it, huh?
That's what my dad said. You were a hostage.
Okay. So, yeah, Sophia, what does she mean to you? That she's hurt now. How does that feel? How does that make you feel?
Like what?
That she's lying in a hospital bed right now.
It's terrible. I cried ever since she went to the hospital. Well, before that, because I didn't even know what happened.
Why did you cry before she went to the hospital?
Because I didn't know what was going on.
You mean that morning? Okay. How about what led up to that morning, that her sickness? Oh, when she would throw up and stuff, are you the one that had to be responsible for cleaning that stuff up? Would Cody ever clean it up?
He tried to the one day, but it made him sick to where he almost had to throw up. He's like, you clean it. So I had to clean it every single time, but I started getting used to it.
So you just did it? And that didn't make you mad at all? Because a lot of times, and I know Corporal McGinnis was telling you about this, sometimes we get mad at somebody, but we can't take our anger out on them. We take it out on somebody who's a little bit easier to take it out on. I have a temper, believe that, I do. And I take sometimes I get angry, I take it out on my family. My kids even, I say stuff I shouldn't, or I ground them when maybe I shouldn't have. I'm a little bit hard sometimes, and I feel bad when I do stuff like that, and I apologize. And I try to take it back, but sometimes you can't take back stuff, right? Let me ask you this: Have you ever done anything like that where you were sorry you did it? You wish you could take it back. You wish you could change things.
Whenever I'd smack her, it's like, maybe I shouldn't have smacked you. You weren't being that bad, but you were being bad.
And that morning, were you angry that morning with Cody? I know that he did some drugs. I know Cody's always kind of been into drugs and stuff, but that Friday morning, when she woke up, she peed in her
diaper.
Yeah, and
I knew I get that she peed in it because she's sick.
Did that make you upset a little bit? I mean, it's okay to be upset. Like I said, we all have anger. I mean, we all have anger. That's normal. That's an emotion. Just like happiness is an emotion. So angry's okay. It's okay to admit, yeah, I was angry with her. Do you admit? Yeah, I was angry. I had this. I had him doing drugs. He's not supposed to. He's on probation or whatever. And then he sticks me in this house as a hostage to take care of his child, right? And I'm 18. I'm beautiful. You are a beautiful girl.
I don't think
you have your whole life ahead of you. Right? And here you are in this predicament. And I'm sure your mom and dad have told you this already too. And you're probably a smart girl on top of it. Am I right?
I guess so.
Okay. So what happened that morning? I mean, tell us what happened. We can help you, okay? If you tell us everything, all right? We'll help you through this. Just tell us the truth.
I didn't do anything to her.
I don't think you meant to do anything to her.
But I didn't do anything to her.
Then why is she in the hospital? What happened? There had to be something that happened there.
I don't know.
The doctors say it happened within minutes, and that's what we have to go by. I mean, are your prints going to be in her bones at all? Was it just one shake or was it 100 shakes? Did you just shake her once, just trying to get her attention? Don't pee in your diaper anymore? Or was it just one time? Or was it 100 times? What was it?
Whenever she peed in her diaper, I said, Soph, did you pee in your diaper? She said, no. I said, Soph, I can smell it. I said, you pee in your diaper? And she said, yeah. I said, that's a good girl. You don't lie.
Okay, that's a good thing.
I don't want her lying.
No, I don't want. No, that's one of my pet peeves too, is lying. They can do anything but lie. I always tell them, and drugs. I'm against drugs too. Big thing on drugs.
Cody wants me to do drugs with him, but I said no.
Yeah,
all the time.
So you are a smart girl.
And his brother, he's like, oh, I'll give you some. I'm like, no, I don't want any.
Yeah, they want to get you hooked too, so you can be a loser like them, right?
So my dad says they're all losers.
Yeah. But I tell you, Jen, we are the people you want to tell your story to if something happened here. So we can work this out and get it straightened out, all right? So we can get little Soph the help she needs, right? We want to get her back home, right? and get her help, and we don't know what happened to her right now. So anything you can provide, even if, like I said, if she did fell off of something pretty high and you're afraid to say because you were watching TV or, went back to the room and left her and you weren't supposed to. This is the opportunity to tell us, okay?
I know she always gets marks from the dog, and Cody's like, you're supposed to be watching her. Well, I can't watch her do laundry and do the dishes and do the floors and vacuum and watch her and the dog at the same time.
Yeah, God. At 18, I couldn't have handled all that. I'm going to tell you that right now. I got married when I was 30, so what's that tell you? I couldn't handle that at 18. Okay.
That's what my dad's friend was saying. He's like, I was married 3 times. I was married when I was 18, and it was a bad decision.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, I know Cody's family. Is your relationship okay with his family right now, or is it in turmoil, right? Or is it in a little bit of stressful situation? What do they think happened?
I have no idea. No one talked to me.
Nobody told you, nobody accused you, nobody asked you if you did anything? No? You sure of that? Even at the hospital? We heard different, that's why I'm asking. And I don't know why you wouldn't tell us the truth about that. I guess there was some type of scuffle at the hospital or some type of argument, am I right?
There was no argument there because I didn't even talk to them.
You didn't? But nobody accused you or nobody hollered at you? Okay. I don't know where
honestly, no one yelled at me. No one talked to me.
Nobody asked you if you did anything to the baby?
No.
His mom? Cody's mom didn't say anything to you?
Not even his uncle, his stepmom, his dad, Pee-wee, his brother.
You wouldn't lie to us about that, right? There's no sense in lying about that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, the social worker came and got me and took me down to the cafeteria because she wanted to talk. And I'm like, okay. I don't care. I'll go. And she's like, well, I do have a way home. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. Because Cody planned on pulling out the couch that turned into a bed for me and him. So I was expecting to stay.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I heard that, it's like, okay. And I couldn't even think of anybody's numbers. I'm like, 553. But I'm just sitting there. I'm like that's my mom's.
Let me ask you this: do you drink alcohol? And I don't care if you do.
No.
I know you're 18. I'm not. That's not why I'm asking you. Do you drink at all? Were you drinking? Were you doing anything? Did Cody give you any pills or anything like that? And you may have done something, and you don't kind of remember everything you did. Nothing like that.
I wouldn't snort pills or take pills unless I'm prescribed it.
Okay.
But he snorts them all the time. Now it's starting to become since then it's during the week. And he only does them on Saturdays.
Okay. How about your mom and dad? What do they think about this?
That it's BS.
Let me ask you this. What do you think happened to Soph? And you have to have an opinion. You can't say I don't know. You have to think. We know that what happened, somebody did something to her. We know an adult did something to her. So, in your opinion, what happened to her?
I thought that she hit her head off of her pack and play.
Okay.
Because she has her tantrum fits, and that's what his stepmom said, that she has her tantrum fits and she hits her head off of the pack and play up there.
You mean,
she jerks her head and she goes like this all the time.
Okay. Well, we know it didn't happen that way. Because there's no way that she could have sustained that injury. So that's out of the picture. So what else? Who do you think did this to her? If it wasn't you...
Cody, but he was at work. And he didn't come in whenever he had to come back and get his truck.
So what's that leave? You, right?
Yeah, but I didn't do it.
Are you sure? How sure are you?
I'm really sure.
100 or 80%, 90%? What?
100.
100? You sure you didn't lose it for a minute and have a little outburst of anger and wish you could just take that back and we could get Because if that's the case, like I said, then we'll call Pittsburgh and we'll tell them, okay, she shook her once, okay? So they can do what they need to do. Give her the medicine they need to give her if that's what happened to her, okay?
This shit pisses me off. Jen doesn't know what happened. And no, Kim. No, you can't call Pittsburgh and tell them anything that will make Sophia better. You, Kim, you know damn well that Sophia is not returning home. Makes me sick. This is why having an attorney, no matter what, is so, so, so important.
Well, she was up whenever he fell asleep, but then it's like she just started crying.
For no reason then, basically? And what did you do?
I'm like, so Dad is trying to sleep. I'm like, are you hungry? I'm like trying to do everything so she wouldn't cry. Like, you hungry? You want to watch Dora? You want to play? Read a book? Look at the pictures?
Okay, so then what happened?
She just kept crying, and Cody opened his eyes, and he's like, shut up.
No. And then what happened?
I can see that.
Yeah. And then what happened?
She cried even harder. Because whenever Cody yells at her, it just gets 10 times worse.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, so be quiet, Dad's sleeping. And she just wouldn't quit, and I just got up and went back to the bedroom.
You didn't console her at all? Why not?
I thought she'd cried out.
Okay.
Do what you need to do.
Okay. All right. So you don't get angry when she cries? You don't want her to be quiet. Isn't it annoying sometimes? I know it can be.
Cody gets annoyed by it really easy. He's like, shut the F up.
Okay. But you don't do anything to her. You don't.
I try and make her stop. Like, read a book. Let's read this book. Let's look at these pictures.
Let me
Play
ask
ball.
you this, okay?
Blocks.
You've only been there since the end of September. Am I right?
Yeah, but
You
met
missed a
her
week.
in July.
Yeah. So you were around her since July. You
Yeah.
move in the end of September, which that's pretty quick. He wanted you to move in, didn't
Yeah, he's like, just move in. It'll be easier on both of us.
he? Yeah, easier on him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he'd save $120 each
Yeah.
month.
Did he give you any money?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
And Pee-wee was getting tired of watching her every Saturday.
So you guys could go out, or?
Well, it'd be every Saturday he'd go down to his brother's from work, and me and Pee-wee would normally go to, like, Walmart or
Go
go
shopping
get pizza
stuff.
or something.
Okay.
And she's like, I'm tired of watching soap every weekend.
And you should be out running around with your friends, right? Yeah. So that Wednesday night when she's crying and Cody's sleeping, you shake her that night?
I just walked back to the bedroom and I sat there.
Have you ever picked her up and shook her? Or when she was down in bed, did you ever go like that to her? Be quiet. Be quiet. Did you ever do that to her?
I'm not going to shake her while she's in bed, and I'm not going to shake her whenever she's up.
Why not? You want her to be quiet.
That's not good.
Why not?
I don't think that's good to shake a child.
Okay.
I know I wouldn't want to be shaken.
Did you ever see Cody do anything to her besides stuff that blanket on her head and try to suffocate her that once?
Unless I'm taking a nap and he has to get her up from her nap.
So what's he angry? So you don't ever get angry? I mean, I know you're presenting like you don't get angry, but you never get angry. I mean, what do you do when you get really angry? Do you throw stuff? Do you drop the F-bomb? I mean...
Whenever Cody did them drugs, I'm like, I'm 2 centimeters from effing killing myself.
Okay.
And I'm like, I'm gonna leave. And I didn't leave.
Why not? Do you love him? You do.
But he don't love me.
No, he doesn't.
He's like, you can leave.
That night he did drugs, was that Thursday night?
Yeah.
Yeah, Thursday night.
Because he started nodding out on the way home from Du Bois.
Now, when he was doing drugs, in my understanding, Soph's at your mother-in-law's,
His.
or whatever.
It was his stepmom.
His stepmom, okay. She wasn't around.
as soon as she left, he grabbed the lighter off of the one stand and went back to the bathroom. And he said he was going to the bathroom, but why do you have a lighter with a girl and Ronnie in the bathroom? That don't make sense.
Yeah. So I know when you said when you guys got back from Du Bois Hospital, baby Soph doesn't cry at all when you get back? She doesn't get up that night? I know your bedrooms are separate, you won't really hear her. But as far as you know, you never got up with her that night. Did you ever get up with her when she would wake up? I mean, she had to wake up sometimes. Did she ever come and get you, or she couldn't get out of her?
She couldn't get out of her back.
So she just sit in there and cry?
She never cried. She just laying there. Sometimes she'd be sitting up and she's like, "Hi," whenever she'd wake up and I'd walk in.
Okay.
Sometimes her door would be shut. Sometimes, most of the time, it's always open.
Okay. All right. So as far as you, I mean, I'm just going to ask you point blank. Did you ever shake her since you've been around her? Yes or no?
No.
No. Okay. Is there any way you could have caused those injuries to her?
No.
No. Okay. All right. So if you agree to take a polygraph, those would be some of the questions I would ask you. Did you cause those injuries to Soph? Okay. And the injuries we're talking about are the injuries that are landed her in the hospital. Okay. Why she's seeking medical treatment now. Okay. Do you think you'd be, do you want to take a polygraph?
I want to, but then I just really want to go home.
Why? Why do you want to go home?
Because I haven't been able to go there since I've been with Cody. He wouldn't even let me go see my parents. I wasn't allowed going to my nephew's birthday party.
Okay.
Did you tell your dad you'd be willing to take a polygraph?
Did your dad ask you? Okay. I mean,
I think that's what your dad told
Yeah,
Trooper
your dad-
Jones, that you said you would take one.
Your dad told me right before we left that you'd be willing to take one. That's what he told me.
Did you
Well,
ever
he
tell him?
never talked to me about it or said anything.
Well, your dad might be, because, your dad doesn't think you did this, obviously. And he would know that a way to clear your name, clear you from this investigation would be to take a polygraph.
I spoke with Jen's dad, and he claims to have never spoken to Justin Jones about his daughter taking a polygraph.
Do I have to do it today, or is there any way I could,
We could do it today, or we could do it tomorrow morning, or, whenever you can come in here. And you know what, we're gonna have Cody take one too, We want to, and the reason why is, like Corporal McGinnis said, this isn't going to go away until we find out who did this, okay? And think of it as, Jen, is we're not going to stop. You know what I mean? We're gonna do it for her, because she can't speak. She's 2 years old. She can't speak, so we're her voice. And if there was an accident, if you did something out of anger that you wish you could take back, that was still an accident, that wasn't intentional, this would be your opportunity to tell us, and we'd work through it, okay? Later on, things will change. Later on, whoever did this, someday we'll just have a warrant and go and pick them up. They won't know when and where, okay? Whoever did this, they're always going to be, are they coming for me? You understand? They're always going to be worried. Are the police coming for me? Are they coming for me today? Are they going to come for me when I'm back in school? That's never going to go away. And we will get them and we will arrest them someday, I guarantee it, because this is an extremely important case, a serious case. So we're not going to go away. But we're giving everybody the opportunity to tell their side of the story, If there was an accident, if you did something out of anger that's not intentional, and things happen, we make mistakes. Like I told you, I make mistakes too with my kids, and I have. I fell down the steps with my kid. But I went there and I told the truth, and it was hard. He had a little bit of an injury, and, I had to rely on the police to believe me. This is what happened, okay? I didn't mean to, but I'm here. I'm going to throw up everything I have because I want you to believe me, and I'll take a polygraph if I need to clear my name, because I didn't do this and there was no intent. So if that's the case, if it was an accident, this is the opportunity to tell us. If it was done out of anger, but you didn't mean to hurt the child, this is your opportunity to tell us, okay? And I'm asking you girl to girl here to tell the truth, If something happened, tell us, okay, hon? That's the only way that you're going to be able to help yourself, all right?
Yeah.
So, I'll just be upfront with you about
Well,
that.
like, what time would that be able to? Like,
The polygraph?
yeah, like tomorrow.
We could do it at 8 o'clock tomorrow. I mean, we could do whatever
that's
time
early.
you need it. Well,
Oh,
let
I'm
me ask
so
you this.
sleeping.
Or we could do it later tomorrow. I mean, but just let me know, because I have some other things going on. You know, I will clear my schedule for this because this is real important. And I'm sure that you would want to get it over with too. The sooner the better, right? So I don't want to talk you into doing it. Maybe you want to talk to your dad about it, and that's fine. I think your dad's on board and he wants you to take it. But if you need to talk to him about it, that's fine, okay? And then we can set up a date and time. It can be any day this week. It can be tomorrow. It can be tonight. You know, whatever. But like I said, if you didn't do this, this is what you should do then. If you did not do this, and if you didn't do this, you have nothing to worry about. I'm telling you that, okay? But if you did this, you have everything to worry about, okay? I'll tell you this, and I know this is when you do something wrong, like whoever did this to this baby, obviously it was wrong, even if it was a mistake. Bad things will start happening to you. You know that person, whoever did it, maybe you, maybe Cody, whatever. Bad things will start happening. I guarantee it. And you're gonna wonder, is that because I did this? You know, yeah, it is. You know, it's kind of like karma. What goes around comes around, right? I truly believe that.
Yeah, that happens to a lot of people that I know. It's like, it's going to come get you.
That's right. This isn't going to go away. And we're going to come get them too, whoever it is, right? But like I said, you have nothing to lose. If you did not do this, you have absolutely nothing to lose by taking this test. Okay?
Well, could I do it tomorrow by any chance?
Yeah, what time?
I have no idea. Is there any way that I could call you and
Yeah.
tell you, or do I just call here?
Well, it'd probably be best if because you got to change your schedule around, right?
Yeah, I can.
So if you could call, so Trooper Ronan has some notice would help. You know what I mean? If you could, the sooner you can let us know, the better for her, because she has some other stuff going on, but she's going to switch things around to help you out and do this tomorrow. So we would need to know.
Would you like to? I mean, you can call your dad and even save it. When we get done, if you want to call your dad, say, hey, they're asking me to take a polygraph. What time would be a good time? Because you're going to need a ride, right?
Yeah, or else I can't drive. I don't have my license. It's like Cody's.
I mean, like I told you before.
So you have a license.
Yeah.
You can still drive. I mean, you have one. You're supposed to carry it with you.
It's locked in his house in the closet.
Okay.
I told you earlier that's not a problem.
Yeah, but what if I get pulled over?
Just say we said it was okay. Okay? You can have any of our names. Because what they'll do is they'll run your name. They'll say, okay, she has a valid license. That's all we're concerned
It'll be
about.
okay. As long as you have a valid license, that's the big things.
Okay. What time tomorrow do you think? Do you think it's going to be in the morning or?
Probably be like afternoon
Okay.
time.
All right. How about I'm going to give you a time and let's see if we can make this happen. Okay. I'd say 2 o'clock.
That's what I was thinking in my
Okay.
head.
There. We're on the same page then.
That
2
way you can
o'clock.
sleep in a little bit. How's that?
Yeah. Be all ready. Okay.
All right. Here it is. Polygraph Monday, November 18th, 2 o'clock. All right, right here at this same place.
Do I just walk in? Do I tell them, or?
Yeah, you'll go
Okay.
to the front. There's people behind the glass there and say you're here for, my name's Ronan. You can ask for me or just say you're here for a polygraph. I don't know who to find, okay?
And if
Yeah.
anything changes and you can't find a ride,
Just
you
call.
can call, ask for me, I'll come down, I'll pick you up, bring you up. Same thing as today, all right?
Let's just stop. We're going to stop the recorder.
Okay.
Conclude the interview. Time is 14:55 hours.
People ask my opinion of polygraphs all the time. And you guys, I would never in my life ever take a polygraph test due to the fact that I know too many people who were told they failed a polygraph only to later be found having nothing to do with the crime in question. In fact, my sister-in-law's ex-boyfriend was blamed for 3.5 years for killing her. The local police said over and over again he failed miserably when he took a polygraph test. Y'all, Kenny didn't kill Egypt Covington. Timothy Moore, Shandon Groom, and Shane Evans are her killers. In my opinion, law enforcement weighs too heavily on something that is not even admissible in court. And again, always have an attorney present when speaking to law enforcement. Next time on Can't Stop, Won't Stop Warriors, Jennifer MEDZIE's interrogation on the 18th. Does she take the polygraph test? So many people failed Sophia Margaret Hoffman. However, as of this episode, Jennifer MEDZIE is the only person to be convicted for this sweet baby girl's death. And she's currently sitting in SCI Cambridge, serving a 20 to 40 year sentence for third-degree murder. Thank you for your support. And please don't forget to like and subscribe to Can't Stop, Won't Stop Warriors. It's a free and easy way to help get more awareness out about the corruption happening throughout this country. I appreciate you.
And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again.